So you've just downloaded the Volta app from the App Store or the Google Play Store, and you'll see the first screen that you're almost greeted with is asking you to sign up to the Volta app. So go ahead and put in your email address and a password, and then it's going to ask you to confirm those details, or a confirmation email will be sent to you via email. But once you've gone through that process, what you're greeted with is this home screen. Now, normal users would be used to what we've been doing, and under your wallets section specifically, you'd be greeted with XRP wallets. All chains are non-custodial. A whole new system that we built in, that supports 10 different chains. But you'd see that if you got this screen that you landed on XRP, our wallets, it's basically what this message says is that we'd be supporting the old way or the old wallets up until the end of the first quarter 2024, and giving people the chance to move their assets over to the non-custodial wallet that we've built. So if you go to non-custodial, and for the users that hasn't done this yet, this is how you'd set up your non-custodial wallet. You'd go to create wallets, and then it's going to give you this screen. So it's one of 7 screens that you'd need to go through. This first being that you understand as a user that it's your responsibility to write down your 24 mnemonic phrase word and your, I think there's a string of 8 numbers that you have to write down. Keep it in a safe place. For this demonstration purposes, I'm gonna send a message to myself, so it's much easier to go through the process. But what you'd do is write it down on a piece of paper, or maybe save it in notes somewhere that's got a secure access to it, and no one has access to it except you. But let's get back to it. The first screen being, you understand that it is important to write this down, keep it in a safe place. So you say, I understand my responsibility. And the next section would be, I have read the terms and conditions. There's terms, as like any non-custodial app, there's some terms and conditions. Part of it, again, you'll have aspects of the like in a paragraph where it says that it is your responsibility to do what I just mentioned previously. So if you've gone through the terms and conditions, you can do exactly the same. You understand that and you continue. Next screen is going to ask you to write down this XRPayNet seed and the 24-word mnemonic phrase. That's the stuff that you need to keep in a safe place, because you're going to need this should you ever want to restore your wallets. So go ahead and go and look at your XRPayNet seed phrase. All I'm going to do is send it to myself, and then again a 24-word mnemonic phrase that I'm going to copy, and I'm going to paste, and again put it in a safe place. You'll see as we go ahead, the screens on the next page is going to ask you to write down or put in the right order those that 24 mnemonic phrase that you just copied and pasted, and again the same with the numbers. So continue to the next screen. This screen, like I mentioned, just ask you, did you remember to write down the 24 mnemonic word phrase and the seed phrase in the previous screen? If you haven't, you still have a chance to go back and just look at it again, but then again continue. And then once you've read everything on this screen, go to screen 3. And then is where you have to now put those words that you've written down, the 24-word mnemonic phrase, in the correct order. All this is doing, it's making sure that you wrote it down correctly. And if you put it down incorrectly, it would show up as green. If you haven't put it in the right order, let's go, for example, let's say that wasn't the right one. Let's say the first one was this. If it was the correct one in the correct order, it would pop up as green. If it was not in the right order, it'll show up as red. If you want to get rid of the red block, all you do need to do is click on it, and it'll pop back to the previous part of the previous stuff that you need to copy. So first word being put. Let's go to the next one. Imitate. Silent. This might take a while, so bear with me. Sorry about that. Silent. Gauge. Upset. Oh goodness. Okay, so once you've gone through that process, it's gonna ask you to go to the next screen. Yeah, again, putting the numbers in the correct order. So let's do that. Cool. Then it's going to ask you to give your account a name. So in this case, I'll probably say it's my personal wallet. Note that you're limited to 12 characters here, so just make sure you call it something appropriately. Personal wallet, I say done, and I continue. You'll see that it congratulates you to create a new wallet. The screen just says it's loading. It's just busy loading all your chains in the that we support. Note, top right, this is what's new now. Now just the account that you just created is now called personal. What you can do now is if you click on personal, you can now add or restore a wallet. You'll notice that under my accounts, the wallet that you just created comes up as personal. If you ever want to change that name, you can do it here. Where you clicked on the edit pen and it says update your account name, and you can say something like personal 1 and done, and you can update your name, and you can see if you go out now, you'll see it says personal 1. Then again, if you want to add an account, you'll be taken through exactly the same process. So what's this good for? So if you want to segregate funds, for example, you want to segregate funds, all that means is separating the funds. If you were a personal user, you'd set up an account like I just did, like a personal account. But if you were a business owner and you had assets in a business account, then you set up something and name the account business account. Note, you're also going to need to write down the 24-word mnemonic phrase and the 8 number string, like we did in the on the previous just previously, like a bit earlier in the video, but I'm not going to do that right now. You'll see that you've got add and restore. So add was adding a new account. Restore is if you've written down your 24 mnemonic phrase and your 8 number string, then you'd go again setting up the account that way. That's something huge. So a new functionality of adding multiple accounts on one profile. As you can see, we support 10 different chains. So XRP and Stellar chain, you'll notice with those are the only 2 chains that you need to activate the wallets. What did I mean by activating the wallets? For XRP chain, if you go into it, you need to send 10 XRP into this chain to activate it. Where do you send it to? There's a deposit address at the top that you can just copy and paste. Notice each chain has its own address that you can send to. So Stellar Chain, again, XLM is the native token to that chain. You need to send in, I think with Stellar Chain, it's 1.5 XLM or 1 XLM to create an account. So just like for XRP chain and Stellar Chain, you're both going to need the native token to activate those wallets. But like I mentioned, with each chain has its own deposit address. So what does that mean? You don't have to. There's no tag for that address. It's just the deposit address or the wallet address that you need to send to. Copy if you're sending from an exchange, you can just copy this address and pop it in the exchange's withdrawal address without any tag or memo. What else do we have? So you'll see with the functionality of each tag. So the overall view is the chain. Under each chain you have tokens. In this one, if you haven't set up trust lines yet, I'll show you how to do that. But with the XRP chain, you've got something like that. You'll be greeted with a send, swap, history and info. So it's just more functionality to that specific wallet. So with XRP, you can send tokens, you can swap tokens, and view the history of that wallet. So let's see what else can you do here. Note that each chain, its native token is used to pay those chains fees. So if you're with XRP chain, always make sure that you've got XRP in your wallet, because all transactions that if you're sending via Trustline, so you would have to have XRP in your wallet to be able to pay for those fees. Again, Stellar Chain, you'll have to have XLM in the wallet to pay for on-chain fees. Again, Synfin, you'll need XDC in the wallet because transactions on that chain is paid in XDC. The other than XRP chain, Stellar Chain that has a lot of trust lines set up on it. The other chains that we've worked on only receives currently, because updates will still be pushed, but they currently just receive the native token of that chain. The only one that we've built in more functionality is Ethereum, the Ethereum chain. Again, make sure that you have Ethereum in your wallet, because you're going to need all transactions being paid for on the chain is in ETH. But you can now send remember it's just Ethereum. All the other chains, although Binance Smart Chain has a lot of tokens on it, you can only receive Binance or BNB on that chain. So just make sure what I mentioned in this video, it's only if you've set up trust lines in the Stellar Chain or in the Ripple chain that you would or XRP Ledger, that those, it's only then are you only to send those assets to those chains if you've set up trust lines. The other chain that we've built out more functionality is with Ethereum chain. You can send any ERC20 token to the Ethereum chain, and as long as it is an ERC20 token. But again, remember, you've got to have ETH in your wallet because the on-chain fees for ERC20 tokens is Ethereum. So just take note of that. But yeah, other than that, you've basically got 10 different chains that you can transact on. We've got the first being XRP chain, Stellar Chain, Synfin chain, Polygon, which is Matic, Solana, which is Sol, Bitcoin, BTC, Ethereum. Any ERC20 token can go on there. Binance Smart Chain being BNB, Litecoin, LTC, and Dogecoin, which is just Doge at this stage. So I hope that gives you more clarity. But yeah, enjoy the the feature that we are excited about right now, and with today's release. So you guys can actually go ahead and update your app if you haven't done so already. But you'd see if you've already established a non-custodial wallet, its default name would be primary. Like you can see mine now is personal one, top right. But being your primary, it will be your primary wallet. Again, you can go and change that if you wanted to. Say mine's personal one now, but yours would be primary. If you want to name it something else, again, the edit button next to it, and you can update the name, or you can delete that account. Remember, when you delete account, you can actually go and restore that account again. So don't worry if you do delete it. Just make sure that 24 mnemonic word phrase that you wrote down and the 8-string numbers, that's used to restore your wallet. So if you ever do delete it, you can go to the restore option and then go through the process, 4-step process of restoring your wallet. I hope that makes sense, guys, and enjoy. It's a lot of work that went into it, but it's worth it.